says, "You are not the first goblins to come this high on the mountain." And he points to a cave.
Mm-hmm.
You will find your answers there for the goat.
Unfortunately, regrettably, more answers than goat, I would say. It was a paltry amount for your magnificent self.
I'm in a good mood.
I hope you remain in a good mood. Good day, Ninki. She walks toward the cave.
So you step off the ice.
Yep.
I admire your work. Thank you.
He seems unimpressed by you, but just nods. And as you walk across the gravel, you hear him sit in the stones.
Just chill.
And he's just sitting by
Like
the water's
watching
edge.
us.
Yeah, he's keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
So, you reach a cave.
Yeah.
Pretty nondescript. It's, break in the rock, and the ground inside does look worn.
No fires or anything on the cave?
No.
No one rested outside of it?
Nope.
Want to check it out?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go. Both of us, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna stealth in.
Does everyone go in?
Yeah.
Nope. I hang back a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Like, I mean, I'm keeping them visual, but I'm just letting them go.
You're gonna take about 4 steps.
I'm walking in.
Okay.
I'm not stealthing apparently.
Okay.
I'm not either. Holy smokes.
So the two of you move in,
It's a 5.
and the cave maybe goes about 10, 15 feet, and then twists and narrows down. And then on the other side, it begins to open up, and there's a cave with a depression in the center that is blackened from probably many, many, many fires. But there's no wood or anything burning there.
Just evidence of fires previously.
Like
Yeah.
a fire pit.
Yeah, they like the rock. The rock is blackened with ash, and it's remained black.
Is it an enclosed cave, or are there side tunnels leading off of it?
No, the roof is not totally intact. There's a crack in the roof, and you can see stars up through it.
Okay.
That's it? But there's no other entryways?
You do see another exit from it,
Okay.
and as you sort of take a closer look around, there are writings on the walls
Yeah. In Goblin?
in Goblin.
And they say?
They say, it says, "As the land grows old, it becomes weak and rotten. The thunderbird brings fire and burns away the dying land. New life grows where ashes of the dead. New life grows from the ashes of the dead, reborn with strength and vitality. We are the Stormtalons."
Our tribe's been here.
Been here in a big way too.
You have a feeling that the writing is probably some combination of ink or maybe blood. It's very dark. And there's also a number of pictograms on the walls, one of which is a massive bird with what you think is an attempt to depict lightning coming from its eyes.
Zhulzuk, I don't know how much you appreciate or respect kind of the hocus pocus nature of gods and bird signs and things like that. I don't know you all that well, but I think the fight between those birds that night is a sign of the future. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but I think once we get to the top of the mountain, we're going to see the thing that helps us regrow our tribe from the ashes that we've been reduced to. That's why I wanted to come up here. Also, the other bird was an asshole and represents the other guys.
I'll actually chuckle at that.
Okay.
Remind me when we're down on the mountain to tell you about the gods. Real gods and real power.
So Granny's still at the mouth of the cave.
I wanted to position myself so I could see the outside and them.
Yeah, you can sort of see just the shadows of, like, with your dark vision, you just sort of catch glimpses of them.
Yeah.
And Nimki hollers at you from the... Doesn't really holler, but raises his voice enough that you can hear. Not going in.
I am at the precipice of in and out, so I shall remain, for I am the mystic arts in this tribe. It's pretty pompous, if I do say so myself. Just says that out loud.
There's no climbing or anything.
Oh, ha 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 ha!
You look older than the others.
That would be because I am. And she makes like a sweeping bow.
How old does a goblin get?
A goblin? I have rarely seen them live past 8, but
Well, what are you?
I'm not 8. I am the oldest member of the Stormtalons. I have outlasted them all. Which is not that impressive now that there are only 4 of us. But it used to be very impressive, just so you know.
There's only 4?
Yes. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but we're done for. Everyone you saw today, that's the Stormtalons.
Forgive Granny, she's just a bit cynical.
So you pop your head back out of the cave?
Yeah. I think I was out there with her. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we went in, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a day to be cynical, Rutabaga, if ever there was one.
you have found your cave and you've given me goat. And now Nimki will go to bed.
Good night, Nimki. May you sleep well and may your dreams be full of large women.
Don't you fall off the mountain.
Thank you. I'll try my best.
Thank you for safe passage, Lord Nimki.
He shakes his head a bit, and you see him wander off into the fog. You hear his feet crunching on snow. You assume he's climbing the glacier.
He was weird. I like him.
Can you imagine if we had him on our back?
Yeah.
I was really hoping to get a piggyback there, I'm not going to lie.
So,
Dope.
That's not a piggyback. That's like Pippin on
that's
the
some,
tree
like,
end.
Old lady, get in here.
Some BFG nonsense.
Is he talking to me?
Are you talking to Granny?
Do you address the only remaining elder of the
I
Stormtalons,
didn't
you
answer that.
withering worm?
Start a fire. This would be a good place to rest. We can let her.
Eventually,
stay.
when she gets bored of waiting, she
Okay,
goes
sounds
in.
good.
She's like, "What? What is it?"
There might be some writings on the wall you'd like to look at, Eldar.
You know, since you're so old.
Thank you. She looks around and observes and says, "That's spelled wrong, and that has questionable grammar, but that's poetry. You know, it's creative license. It's very A drawing looks like it was done by a 7-year-old goblin. No offense."
That's pretty old for a goblin. I don't know.
Yes, I know. Poor eyesight, shaky hand. It's a terrible thing.
does Chirp build the fire?
Yeah, I do.
So you have a little bit of firewood left.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if there's any kind of markings on the wall, anything in the cave to indicate, like, where a ceremonial fire might be built. There probably isn't, but Chirp is going to make that effort. This seems kind of like a cave with history, and he wants to respect that.
Okay. You don't find anything like that. You don't find anything like that. This looks like a living quarter, and there's other writings on the wall, and they all are some version of what I read to you already.
Yeah, I'm just going to light a
Are there
fire.
any maps or anything pointing
No.
anywhere?
No.
Okay.
There's the only other thing in this chamber is the other tunnel leading out.
Do you do anything to express your feeling of ceremony Other than like we said to him, like
I'd probably ask Granny Murk, like, hey, do you see any instructions on how to treat this cave? Because I'm probably not the most literate. Just kind of trying to like respect the space.
she looks around and she reads the words again, and she says, she motions to everyone to come in close and pulls out. I'm pretty sure I have a dagger, but I don't want to.
I have a dagger if you need one. Or go through the effort of getting out of your
Yeah, I got it. I pull it out, and I motion to everybody else, and I say, I think this is how we honor this place. And I start. I just trace some of the words, like I
With fresh blood?
yeah,
Yep.
with my blood, like probably the S in Stormtalons. I don't know how far I'll get, but yeah, or rather whatever shape that is. I think this is how we honor it. And then I will move over to where the fire is being built, and I'll squeeze some of my blood onto the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a similar vein and cut kind of my forearm and trace over the bird with the lightning eyes.
Okay.
I cut myself.
Granny's gonna try and get some blood from you.
How's Granny trying to get some blood from
Like
Sark?
gonna be like grab arm and but I rolled a 4, so that's not happening.
No, the eggs.
Yeah.
You need to get into the spirit of the thing. Come on.
No.
Why? That's not a good enough reason. Do it now.
We need to find the source of the rebuild to rebuild.
We need to keep moving for sure. Yeah.
With that, you all hear some movement down that other tunnel.
Arrow knocked.
Like something rubbed against the stone wall or something.
I snap and motion for the two of you to go.
Down the tunnel?
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock an arrow and then also step behind Granny Murk.
Me or him?
Both of you. Like I snap my fingers and do 2 motions.
To who?
To the goblins?
So how long have we been there? Is it like a short rest?
Dude,
we've
like-
had there?
No.
No.
I'm understanding the message. I am not doing it.
Yes, I understand that you are.
Okay,
I
alright.
want a
B?
Granny Murk is trying to indicate that the two of you should go and check out what the hell that was.
Not Zuck?
No.
What? Fine.
I'll go.
But they got the Jingle Man?
The jingle.
So,
man.
Zuck, lighting a torch or going just with dark vision?
I'll go with dark vision. Yeah.
If Zuck is going, I will go. I'm just not very good on my own.
Okay. I'm going to say that the fire has been lit in this chamber.
Okay.
It's not big. It's just sort of crackling away.
I'll go with Zuck too.
So there's only room for one down the tunnel, so Zuck's in the lead. Okay? And Zuck takes about 2 steps down that tunnel and feels a familiar chill.
Feels a familiar chill.
Mm-hmm.
I know that chill.
Yes.
As
It reminds you of your patron.
my patron. I keep walking.
There's like a coldness to it.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'll keep going.
Okay. So,
The dead might be here.
the tunnel
Dead.
moves down into another smaller version of the chamber you just came from.
Mm-hmm.
This one does not have any openings to the starlight.
Mm-hmm.
A similar fire could be lit in here, though. And there are graves around the edge rather than writings, like niches carved into the stone. And there are bones lying in them. Obviously goblin, hobgoblin bones. And there are a few skeletal remains scattered around the floor as well.
Should I go back and get Granny?
I'm gonna go back and get Granny.
In what way? Like, come on, let's go?
So Chirp goes, get ready. So it's just Rutabaga and Zhulzuk now.
He's learning.
I'm a better shot than you.
I say, what do you make of this?
Let's be quiet for a moment. I'll inspect the chamber very carefully.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna go up and like poke the bones. Obviously, they're graves, so like, can I tell if they're like Stormtalon, like Goblin,
Okay.
skeletons, things like that.
You sort of are you gonna move a bit into the room to get a better
Yeah,
look?
for sure.
So you're cautious. You move into the room. I'm going to say that Rutabaga is also just inside the entry of the cave, this chamber as well. You can tell these are definitely Goblin and Hobgoblin bones, and this is some sort of a burial chamber of sorts. However, Zhulzuk does notice that there's one skeleton form at the back lying in its niche that has what looks to be maybe a silver chain hanging about its neck. It doesn't have a chest to sit on anymore, so it's sort of drooped down into the onto the sort of the lip of the shelf that it's lying on. But everybody else is sort of like it's just bones and dust. But this
one
silver chain catches your eye.
Alright, I'll draw my sword and I'll cast my hex ability on it. Like not hex, but my hex weapon ability on it.
Yep.
And I'll move towards it.
Okay. So as you do that, as you start to approach it, to the astonishment of Rutabaga's and Zhulzuk's eyes, some of these skeletal goblins and hobgoblins begin to stand. So let's roll initiative.
Okay.
And the two that are not here, still roll initiative. So we have. And what do we get? Anybody over 20?
Natural.
Natural 20. Great. Anybody over 15?
17.
16.
8.
17?
No, it's not.
16.
Yes, we're in the room.
Okay, so Granny, you can hear one of the goblins coming back down the tunnel towards you.
Okay. I am.
You can probably even see its chirp.
I say, what is it, Chirp?
We just. Oh, can I respond if it's not?
Yeah, you can respond.
It's like, we just found another cave full of bones and stuff, and you might want to check it out. This is really your.
Can I choose to move after I heard that, or is
Yeah.
that okay? Then I double dash past him.
So you push him aside? Like,
Yep.
Okay,
It's just bones.
Zhulzuk. There are 3 skeletons in total rising from the floor.
The first one I see, I'm taking out.
Okay,
So I'll cast hex on it.
yep.
And
So Hex is your bonus action.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And hit the other one with Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead. You're hitting the one you cursed, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That you hexed, right?
So 16 plus my bonus.
Yeah, that is a hit. That is a hit.
And then
How much damage?
13.
13. So it crashes into the skeleton, and it just has no ability to keep its shape and clatters back to the floor. Some of the bones just, explode apart. And Rutabaga, what's Rutabaga going to do? There's
Rutabaga.
2, and they're sort of taking up flanking positions on Zhulzuk.
Rutabaga will go for an attack on one of them
Okay.
with his rapier.
Roll to hit.
Rolling to hit. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna see if I get a good roll here.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's see it. Because I'm feeling a 20.
You feeling a 20?
I'm feeling a 20.
You think it's going to happen?
It's calling it right now.
Yeah.
Will the 20. Is that a 1?
That's the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's a 1.
Okay, so you start.
wow.
You move to intercept one of the skeletons from Zuck. You trip over a skull. Roll to the floor and sort of quickly get to your feet again. But you did not make anywhere close to an attack on it.
That is phenomenal.
So the 2 skeletons then close on Zhulzuk and attack.
Yeah, yes.
And they're swinging short swords. And we got a 13 and a 12.
Nope.
I assume do not hit. So it is Chirp's turn. Granny pushes past you and is heading for the tunnel, the chamber you just came from.
I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna double dash and kind of just try to. They're already dead. It's it doesn't really seem to be an issue.
And the two of you sort of get to the chamber this turn and round the corner, and there's Zhulzuk with two skeletal goblins attacking him, and it's Granny's turn.
I hope you don't mind, but I feel like Granny has seen some shit.
Okay.
So I hope you don't mind. It's like vaguely meta, but like I figured that she hears that and she's like, "Oh no!" So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably how she's
You're old as hell.
Probably how she's still kicking.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So okay, so he has already attacked these.
Yes.
Can I tell how feeble they are from that?
They do not look particularly well put together. They've
Okay.
been here a long time. They look
So
dusty,
I am
cracked, dried
gonna.
out.
I'm just take. It doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna attack with Firebolt.
Yep,
Yeah, that's a 17.
that is a hit. So the firebolt hits it.
Nice. And that's gonna be a 10. That's a 7.
7?
7 fire damage.
7. Okay, it does not go down,
Okay.
but it looks horribly singed and burnt.
Yep.
Zhulzuk can go now.
I'll go for, well, since I killed the guy, moving my hex onto the next
As
guy.
your bonus action. Yep, onto the one that Granny just burned
No,
up, or the other one.
The fresh.
Okay,
boy.
and go ahead.
13 plus 5, 18.
18?
Yep.
That is a hit.
11 damage.
11? It does not die. You maybe knock an arm off. It goes spinning across the room, clatters against the wall.
Sorry, 1 second. 15. There was a line under the one side.
It bounces off
It's
the
a
wall, it
nine.
comes back and hits it in the back of the head, and it goes down in a pile of bones and dust. So there's only one remaining, and it's Rutabaga's turn.
Rutabaga stands up. He brushes himself off. Says, "Let's try this again." And here it comes.
Don't call it 20 this time.
It's gonna
I'm
be
calling it 20.
It's gonna be 20.
Here
Call
it
it.
comes.
Kennedy.
Part of the cards.
Oh. It is
Yes.
a 18.
18, that's a hit. So roll your damage.
And here comes the decapitation.
D8.
1d8 plus 5. 7.
7. So your blade goes right through its head. Like through the front bone and it pops out the back. It's still moving though.
Oh.
And it attacks Rutabaga.
Oh no.
Rolls a crit.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Every episode she gets drunk.
Every time. 7 points of damage. So you've got your blade through its head and it like brings its sword down on you. Chirp.
Chirp, shocked and confused by these not living things suddenly living, is going to pop a shot off at the hexed one.
Okay. The hex one's down. All that's left is the one.
Okay. Well, then
All the one that's left is the one that Rutabaga has her blade through the head of.
The Skeltabob then. It's going to be a 15 to hit.
15. That is a hit.
Okay.
And you can roll sneak attack because Rutabaga is obviously adjacent.
14 damage.
14. Yeah. So you shoot it and the head comes right off. So now it's got the blade going through one way, the arrow going through the other, and it's on your rapier, and the body just goes.
So I just go, ha!
Does the skull like slide down the blade?
Sure.
You're welcome.
And I take the skull and I smash it.
Okay. It smashes quite easily. Zhulzuk now reaches that shiny medallion.
I'll take it.
So it is. You think it's made of silver? It has a skull
Uh-huh.
with a 5-pointed star.
I put it on immediately.
Okay.
What?
I look at him real hard and try and tell if he's like gonna go crazy or something.
No, he puts it on.
And I'll tuck it in.
All right.
Are we not allowed jewelry? Is that?
No, you're allowed jewelry just fine, but when it's on a skeleton that just tried to kill you, I thought it might be caution involved, but no, I'm just 113. What do I know? Why'd you pick that thing up?
Personal reasons.
Insight Check!
You tell me. I hate insight check.
May I
rolls
insight
against
check?
against other people.
May I insight check a character? Okay.
You should be able to tell if he's lying.
Okay.
Personal
The
reasons.
17.
You believe that's for personal reasons.
It's not true or false. This is like what else can I glean with the 17 from what you just said?
As to my insight, you don't know my background to do with that,
Yeah.
so you'd know that I was telling you it's for personal reasons.
I would add to it that you think he's obviously sees value in it.
Can I search? Is there more heirlooms in this chamber?
You want to take a look around?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
I hope I don't find a trap. It kills me.
Oh, that was almost a 20.
I know. Perception. Sorry for the
It's
whole.
+1.
Oh, then 12.
12?
Yeah.
You take a look around. You don't find anything.
I'm gonna steal a femur.
Okay.
Like a solid something I can carve some stuff into.
Sure.
Cool.
Why are you taking it dead?
Can I sleight of hand it to make sure that nobody else sees it?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry. No.
You don't even have to roll. You sleight of hand it. No one notices.
I
Tight.
can't sleight a hand fever.
As Granny's questioning Zhulzuk, you're just kind of like,
Yoink. I just put it in my pant. next to
and
my pant.
Rutabaga looking around the room, and
Build a crutch
Yeah.
later.
I don't find anything.
you
no.
don't find anything.
Nothing but pain and misery at this chamber. Natural one.
It's not natural.
There's no
ones.
other entryway out of this chamber.
Not that you can see.
I'm gonna search.
I'm gonna see the depression on the floor and start building another fire while he's doing that.
Okay.
Is there a hole up the roof
No.
of this one too? Oh.
Perception.
sure.
You want? 12.
Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take a look around. You don't see any signs of any.
Chirp. There's no hole in the roof. If you build a fire here, we're all gonna die.
Well, we could just leave.
But then, fine, she leaves.
Okay. Do you build the fire?
Yeah. I'm gonna build the fire, tend it for about 2 minutes, and then if nothing happens, put it out.
No. You
I'm
build a
gonna,
fire.
I'm gonna stay there.
Yeah, you build a fire and get it going. And it starts to float up to the ceiling because there's no hole.
Yeah.
But then Chirp notices it sort of runs across the roof and then disappears through a crack on the one side of the chamber.
Ooh.
Interesting. Indicating like airflow.
What's that?
Indicating like an airflow, like
Yeah.
like a space where air could be displaced to. I'm gonna nod to Zhulzuk and be like, "Hey, I think that could be something. I don't know that wall
Good
might
work. Great work. Yes.
be just a fish who can't climb a tree."
Yes.
Alright.
You're a good fish tonight. I'll follow it and look for a way to open it.
Make an investigation check.
I'm a good fish.
Oh, natty 20.
Natural 20?
Natty 20.
So,
Natty.
you sort of run your hand down. You do. There's a crack, and you think maybe that these niches that have been carved in, there might be more to it. That the slab of stone they're on could maybe be pivoted.
Pivot it. Actually, check for traps.
I'm going to check for traps.
Okay.
What is that? Is that an investigation or?
Investigation.
Okay.
Well, actually, perception. Perception first, and then if we find something, you can investigate to figure out what it does.
What did you get?
Got a critical one.
Okay. No, it looks good.
What?
Alright, so I'll
Yep,
open
go
it.
for it.
Make a strength check.
You want to help me open this? What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I don't know
So
that. I
roll
don't
with
know.
advantage. Then Chirp's helping.
Yikers.
Yeah, that's better.
There's a couple of low rolls.
16.
16. You managed to get it big enough that you could sort of slide your way through. There's definitely a chamber behind it.
Get the
Can I
others.
sneak through? Like, is it big enough for me to slip?
Let's get the
Oh, yeah,
others. And
Tell you what, you get the others. I'm gonna go in, and I slip through.
So he says that, and then he's in.
I don't understand this guy.
So
One time he needs people, another time he just runs off by himself.
Well, we're inside. Nothing can get you while you're inside.
Chirp finds a tunnel,
Rutabaga.
and the smoke is definitely
Hey, Granny,
following the
follow.
tunnel. And
Come along, Granny.
What? What's going on?
We're moving. back
What?
into the smoky room.
Why? We're all gonna die. We're all gonna asphyxiate. That happened to 2 of my kids. It was intense. It was terrible. She goes on like this, but
Talking
eventually
about
they
how
go.
2 of her kids died from smoking.
Yes.
Smoking kills.
Did you tell your kids though? This is what we do.
Of course I did.
This is what we do.
It is what we do. I mean,
All right, so
eventually we go.
does Chirp explore it?
As soon as I see it's not just a room, I am right back through. Like, yeah, no, we should wait for people. Like, I thought it was
okay.
just like a room, and I was like, good to go. Like, no, we're definitely move as a group, live as a group.
Okay, so you wait. Everybody comes and squeezes their way through.
Yep.
The tunnel winds for quite a distance.
Okay, wait, I have no marching order because
No,
Granny
no.
wants to be like middle.
For traps.
Okay.
For-
So who do you put Rutabaga in the back then? Because
Yeah.
he was talking to you. So
Yeah, rear.
Rutabaga is the rear guard.
I'll be the rear guard.
Okay.
I will take point looking for traps.
All right. The tunnel goes on for quite a ways until it opens into another similar chamber to what you've seen before, sort of relatively rounded out. A fire pit in the middle, and more writing on the walls. Not Goblin this time.
Oh, for love.
Does it look giant-esque?
No, but when Granny starts to look at it, she recognizes them as arcane runes.
Aha! So, can I roll a check of that kind?
You make an arcana check, yeah?
Yay. Okay. 19.
So, it looks like the Stormtalons at some point had spellcasters, as the walls are essentially a spell book, and there are 3 spells written on the walls.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I love you, boss.
That being said, they can't be moved because they're literally on stone walls.
I'm aware of that.
The first spell is Shatter.
This doesn't protect us, does it?
The second spell
That's magic.
is Thunderstep,
Gobbly stuff.
and the third is Thunderwave.
Shatter is pretty
So
cash
she's
money,
gonna
though.
take. Is there another exit out of this kit?
There is. The tunnel keeps going.
That's very, very on
So
brand.
are you taking time to copy this stuff?
I was
down?
gonna say.
It'll take her time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she'll need some. So she needs to find like inks and.
Which I don't have, I'm assuming.
You don't have the materials to. Yeah.
Okay.
So does that mean you learned them though?
No.
She can learn them because she's a wizard.
But I don't have the material that I need.
Not sure.
Unless you're willing to donate your skin.
Sure.
Take out my sword.
You keep going. There's another. The tunnel continues. This is just sort of.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we go.
Yes, yes. Rogue's leading the way.
Okay.
Checking for traps.
All right. So the tunnel continues to wind, and you feel like you put another big piece of distance. Like whereas the first chamber sort of led to the burial chamber, relatively short, maybe 50 feet. You've probably been walking. It was probably 150 to 200 feet before you reached the chamber where the spells were written on the wall, and you probably do another 200 feet or so. And this next 200 feet or so is constantly moving up. Like you get to a ledge and you have to pull yourself up, and then you walk a bit, another ledge, pull yourself up.
Okay.
When finally Chirp sees the night sky ahead, he gets to the opening, and you are on a very narrow ledge.
Okay.
You are quite literally about halfway, 3/4 up the actual peak itself. I'm not talking about like the whole mountain. I'm talking about like that last bit of mountainside where people are climbing like rock climbers,
Yeah.
essentially. Like you need rope and pitons and things like that. And you have like you are looking down over somewhere down there is your camp. You're looking out into the plains, sort of the tundra of Hildrak itself. You can see the great river winding its way, the Chilmaw River, winding its way, and this ledge leads up to the left. And as you sort of peer out, it very steeply climbs, and you can see that it embedded in the side of the mountain, almost at the very top. There's a ruin, maybe a temple.
Wow.
You can see huge arched windows, and it looks out to the north, over Hildrak and the lands of the Kells. And
So this
you've
is
never seen anything like it before.
wow.
I turn to Zhulzuk and I say, "Did you know any of this existed?
No. It's amazing.
How are we? We are small time. I mean, we're even smaller time now. But when before the attack, we were small time. Look at this. This is what we used to be."
Make a history check.
So 21.
Granny doesn't think it's Goblin built.
Okay. Who then? Who? The 21? Who am I 21?
You think it resembles some of the ruins that are scattered across
Are there
Hildrak?
any symbols or anything engraved on it, or?
You can't tell from this distance.
Okay, so
You've got a fair bit of a climb, but
I'm
this
gonna-
ledge-like trail makes its way up, and almost daybreak.
So we should rest and then go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sleep. And we need more goat or mushrooms or something.
So the party decides they're going to have a rest before moving up this ledge towards this temple built into the peak, when you hear the howl again, and it reverberates down sort of the trail towards you, and you feel like whatever's making that howl is probably in that temple.
Okay.
I don't think we should wait, but that's just my vote. If we want to wait and rest up, that's okay. But
How bad are you hurt?
I have 4 health left.
What's that?
I'm pretty bad. I'm hurt.
4 health.
Rutabaga looks pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty rushy.
So
Sorry, I talked out of.
I'll walk
That's okay.
over and try to like patch her up.
Okay. Let's wrap there.
yeah.